Welcome to the 107th episode of the GCN Tech Show. This week we've got more new tech coming out of the World Tour. We've got the world's most expensive bike, again. We've got snacks, we've got upgrades, we've got the bike vault. Oh, it's going to be great. I love snacks of the week. It's going to be a good episode, this. Let's do it. Let's crack on. This week, our main talking point is looking at the most expensive bike in the world. Now, you may remember in episode 36 of the GCN Tech Show, myself and John endeavoured to create the most expensive bike in the world. And we did so by hypothetically selecting some of the most luxurious and decadent components available to humanity. And the result was a very light bike that cost $36,573.49.
Well remembered that, Ollie. Crumbs. Well, that has just been outdone because, well, there's a new bike being launched and we're going to tot up the actual prices, but it's from a company called Vortech and it's this, the WX-R. Not to be confused, of course, with the WRX of Subaru
Impreza. Yeah.
But this bike is going to be used by the Malaysian track sprinters at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
Vortech, you may remember, is a company based at the Silverstone Wind Tunnel in Northamptonshire, England. And myself and John actually visited the company and saw some of their things, did some aero testing and got a 3D printed model of my visage made.
Try to forget about that one, Ollie.
Oh my God. Yeah, well anyway, before we go any further and talk about why the WX-R is, well, the most expensive bike in the world, let's have a poll, okay, and decide which Olympic Tokyo 2020 track bike is the best.
The best?
Yeah, the best.
But what do you mean by the best?
Well, whatever people vote for is clearly going to be the best one.
All right, so like
you get
7 years, like when we're 7 years old and like, well, yeah, this is the best. Why? Because it's the best.
Yeah, because it's the best one.
All right.
So we're going to have the Vortech WXR, the Hope Lotus GB track bike, the Pinarello Mart that the Italians will be using, and the Look T20 that the French Federation are going to be using.
Yeah, they took that name because of their love for cricket, didn't they?
They did, French cricket. Now, if you go down below, there's a link that will take you through to the app where you can vote in the poll, and whatever you decide, well, that's clearly the best one.
I love the thought behind this, Ollie. So without further ado, let's have a look then and see why this bike is the most expensive we've ever seen. Now, there was a little story about halfway through last year about a ceramic speed bike that was said to be the most expensive bike ever, but we never got a price on that, so, well...
Don't count.
Exactly, yeah, we write the rules.
Yeah, so firstly, it's a track-specific frame, the WX-R, and it means you could only use it on the track, or you could use it on the Red Hook Crit if you wanted.
I'd advise, if you are going to use it in the Red Hook Crit, to probably ride at the front.
Yeah. Anyway, information on Vortech's website is fairly sparse about the new high-tech design, but we can glean that it's available in both a small and a medium, not a large though. So sorry if...
Oh no, medium's cool.
Yeah, me too. Okay. What you can see is it's a very, very smooth design, very integrated, and it appears to have seat stays that kind of jut out slightly, similar to the Hope Lotus design, but they don't look to be quite as pronounced as that design.
Yeah, it's certainly not as sort of overemphasised as the Hope Lotus one. Yeah. Now this one, Ollie, it is just a frame on its own. So you are going to need a fork, you are going to need a stem, you are going to need a seat post and everything else. The price, tell them.
£25,000 just for the frame. I mean, that's pretty expensive. That's our starting point. Anyway, but it is important to point out that this bike has been designed, in this incredible facility with what is arguably an unprecedented amount of computational fluid dynamics studies, wind tunnel studies, and they've used that 3D printing technology to do rapid prototyping and test a variety of aerodynamic shapes. It's incredibly useful for that. Yeah. It's not just useful for making faces.
Yeah, it's useful for things which are actually useful.
So, fork, right? Check out that bad boy. It's going to set you back an additional $5,000.
Yeah, now they say that when this is being used in combination with the rest of the componentry, which we are going to come on to, don't worry, it's said to have the lowest frontal area possible, whilst still retaining excellent strength and rigidity when under the power, I guess you could say, of those top-level world-class Olympic athletes.
Yeah, not like me.
No, or me. And it's very deep and bladed too.
Yeah. Now we're also going to need a handlebar. So fortunately, Vortech make the Tokyo edition Olympic handlebar. Check this out. It's got a really interesting shape and design to it. And it's quite similar to the recent designs we've seen on the Pinarello Mart track bike. And also, Aero Coach has just brought out a new handlebar for the Olympics as well. And what these designs are doing are having a specially shaped area around the drops that kind of shapes the air around your hand, your fist, when you're holding the bar to make it more aerodynamic. And this is, we're told, giving a significant aerodynamic gain. And that's because, well, it's on the leading edge of the bike, and also at the speeds that Olympic track athletes go, it becomes hugely significant, especially when races are run by like, 100th of a second or whatever. And this particular bar on this bike is just 30 centimetres wide, so incredibly narrow, and it costs £10,000.
I'm sure we'll see them banned anyway, mate. If that makes you go faster, the UCI like to ban these things. Right, okay, so we're up to £40,000 so far, and we still don't have any wheels. The good news is that Vortech have actually made some special wheels for this bike. Let's tackle the front one.
Yeah.
It's a 4-spoke.
Okay.
And it takes a different approach to a normal one. So it's not as, I don't know, sort of, normally it's just a cross, right?
Yeah.
This one instead is taking like well, the pictures on the screen explain it all. I don't know what sort of shape that is. Either way, it's got a really interesting axle on it because it uses a through axle. So there is no axle, it just rotates on the actual axle inside of the forks, which is 12mm in diameter. But the width of it is ultra narrow, 32mm. So it's 7 centimetres narrower than a normal front wheel.
That is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like how narrow that bike's going to look front on is mega. It's a shame they don't have a picture on their website of how narrow it is front on.
Yeah, it would be amazing to compare it to another one. It reminds me of like when OBrien was going for his hour record and he had a really narrow bottom bracket, like 70mm instead of like 110.
That frontal area is just so much smaller. That is seriously cool. And it's interesting they've gone for through axle design on the wheels to increase the stiffness at the axle. I mean, that's something that I probably wouldn't be able to feel, but for a printer like Chris Hoy or Jason Kenny, they're gonna, or
or a Wang from Malaysia. I mean, he's going to be able to use it. It's super cool, and I can't believe that no one has done it so far on a track bike, made a through axle. Anyway, enough of all that.
How much is the wheel?
Yeah, exactly. That's all what they're waiting for. £6,000. A drop in the ocean. Rear wheel. Let's go for a disc wheel though, Ollie.
Yep.
But there isn't a disc wheel on their site. Well, there is, but it's for the front wheel.
Yeah.
£6,000 again. Yeah. So we're going to have a guesstimate really at 6,000. I mean, it should be more. Rear wheels are always more expensive than a front, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. 6,000.
So to finish off the bike, we've selected parts that would be typical of an Olympic track bike. So we're gonna need a chainring. We've gone for a pyramid cycle design, custom chainring.
Nice choice.
Yeah, a lot of pros like those. £120. One of those bad boys.
Seems quite cheap, really.
It does,
to everything.
Bargains. We're also gonna need a power meter for our Olympian and his bike. So we've gone for an SRM Origin with Look carbon cranks, a popular choice.
Yeah.
And very, very bling as well. We saw them being made in Tunisia, actually, which was very nice.
Did, yeah.
And that's a drop in the ocean as well. It's £2,000.
Yeah.
£2,000 for that.
I just hope it fits that frame because we don't know what type of bottom bracket standard it's got.
We don't, but we're going to assume it does.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's a nice crankset, actually, Ollie.
It is. We're also going to need chain.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's only really one.
Izumi, DID.
I think we go for a ceramic speed UFO chain, £120.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Tyres then, something, again, top of the range. So Vittoria Pistas.
Yeah.
They come out.
Popular choice on the track.
Yeah, very fast, lightweight tyres. £134 each. Remember, they've got silk sidewalls on them.
Last a long time, though, on the track.
Yeah. Although there was actually a tyre years ago, I'm going to quickly digress, that was said to only last 50 kilometres. There we are. I think they were Clements or Dugas, something like that. They were the pink ones. And lastly, of course, we are going to need a sprocket.
Yeah.
So a Jura Ace sprocket. The cheapest thing of all, £20.
Bargain. Right, quick maths. Adding all that up together comes to £60,528. I mean, I should replace Carol Vorderman on Countdown, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should.
That, John, is utterly bonkers.
Yeah, bonkers, for those of you who are unaware, is kind of another word for silly, isn't it? Now, the reason for this price being so high, obviously there is economy to scale, you have to say. There's probably about 5 people who are going to have this equipment made for them. But the UCI actually stipulates a rule. That's right, the UCI, our friends, get another shout out, that all equipment being used in competition must be commercially available, which means that, yes, these manufacturers have to list them on a website somewhere so that a potential customer could potentially buy it. However, having tried to buy equipment in the past when it's been listed on websites, you often get very lengthy lead times, such as 4 or 5 years, by which point that model has been superseded and it goes on like that. But obviously, they're just ticking a box, really, aren't they, with it? But yeah, £60,500.
And also, with the investment that comes from the particular Olympic Federation, they believe they're getting a technological advantage from this equipment, and they don't necessarily want anyone else to have this equipment and get that technological advantage as well. Yeah. So it's in their interests for no one else to have the equipment and, well, I guess make it prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yes, but what else could you buy for £60,500? Well, you could buy a brand new Jaguar F-Type for £54,000 and still have £6,500 left over for a bike.
Probably quite a nice bike as well.
Yeah, or you could roughly buy 20 round the world plane tickets.
Or you could have 10,100 GCN Elite water bottles available at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. Quick
Maths, John. Also, that wins the award for Plug of the Week.
Oh, thanks, mate. I'll have that as a prize.
Nice. Well, let us know in the comments down below what you would buy for £60,500.
I've got a list as long as my arm.
Okay.
Hot Tech now, and the squad of Movistar have made some equipment choices for 2020. So they're going to be using SRAM group sets and zip wheels, which is something of a change because the team which started its life, if you like, as Reynolds way back when.
And then Benesto.
Yeah, and then Benesto, yeah. Well, I mean, they've had a long lifespan, let's say, in the peloton. 37 years they've been using Campagnolo, and now they've changed. And now, this has absolutely blown my mind, to be honest, because this is one of the few really traditional teams still left.
They are very traditionalist, that team.
You look in the back of the mechanic's truck, and that mechanic, well, he's been there the last 37 years, obviously in a different truck. But they've got Alejandro Valverde.
Yeah.
I can't see him using one-by. I can't see him using disc brakes, but watch this space, because I guess he's going to, isn't he?
Yes. Now, also, you may remember, more Hot Tech, you may remember the Look T20 track bike. We showed it in the poll earlier in this video, and also it was in the GCN Tech Show last week. Well, Look have also released some brand new pedals. Check these out. These are the Look Blade Carbon Ceramic Track Edition pedals, and although they look quite similar to Look's Road Blade pedals, they feature a control roller, and this is said to give a more secure feel in the pedal, which is essential for big track sprinters. But if you were unfortunate enough to come off, apparently your foot is released as normal.
So all the benefits, really, of the old toe clips and straps, but, well, the safety if you're going to come off.
Yeah, nice.
I like the idea of that. I'm not willing to try it out, though, to see how it works. But, yeah, great idea. Now, lastly, then, the folks at Bike Rumour, they reckon there's a new power meter on the way, and this time from Campagnolo, because, well, they unearthed some patents recently, and, well, we can't actually tell if they have been using, when I say they, I actually mean the Lotto Soudal squad, if they've been using this yet, because it's all hidden away inside of the actual chain set itself. But the kind of giveaway thing has to be the chain catch, which has a magnet mounted to the bottom of it, which of course detects the cadence as someone rides along. I mean, that's my thoughts, that's Bike Rumour's thoughts, but who knows? But one thing for certain, Ollie, is I'm off to the Tour Down Under next week, so I'm going to be able to have a look around and try and find one.
Yeah.
But if it's totally hidden away, don't know how I'm going to be able to find. I'm going to have to ask the UCI to borrow that scanner thing.
Take your detective outfit.
Yeah, and a magnifying glass.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll lend you my Sherlock Holmes pipe.
Oh, thanks, mate. More hot tech next week. Can I really borrow it? Thanks, mate.
Snacks of the week now. And this week, we've been sent snacks all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Where's that? I'll tell you.
Not Lincoln in Lincolnshire,
Right.
home of the Lincoln Grand Prix.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
No, this is Lincoln in Nebraska.
Show us on screen where it is. Come on. That's where it is.
Well, these have been sent to us very kindly by Chris Baum, who tells us that he's a big fan of GCN and that GCN inspired and helped him get back into cycling after a 30-year absence, and helped him climb and train to climb Alpe d'Huez as well. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Wow, good stuff, Chris.
Yeah, and great to hear that he's been coaxed away from riding his tractor and back onto a bike.
Is he a farmer?
Oh no, it's just this thing. In Nebraska, everyone just rides tractors.
How do you know these things?
That's what I read on the internet.
All right, anyway, right, what's he sent in then?
By centres, check this out. I'm in a box all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Unboxing.
These are chocolate meltaways. Oh,
You're dropping everything.
I'm dropping them. Yes. So I've already opened them and eaten some.
I don't really like chocolate, but I'll give it a go.
That. These are...
No, Chris, I'm not a big fan, but I'll give it a go.
I love chocolate. It's my favourite thing in the world. These are Baker's chocolate meltaways, which are made in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's good, isn't it? And he's also sent us the Mill Coffee and Tea Nebraska Blend Coffee, which I'm informed is the best local coffee shop in Nebraska.
Probably the only place. I'm just saying, I never even heard of it.
Well, it's great to get a taste of Nebraska. Thanks very much. Very kind and awesome. We'll enjoy that later. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was really nice, actually, Chris.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Hopefully, more snacks next week.
Well, I won't be here, but I'll bring you some back.
Yeah. That was nice. That was orange. Orange, dark chocolate orange. What's that one?
Brian, milk chocolate peanut butter.
You don't like peanut butter and chocolate?
No. Two things which definitely I don't really like anyway, but it's not bad.
Well,
is there anything in there that's really bad we can give, like, Hank?
Chocky.
I don't know, I'd eat them all.
Would you?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Cha-ching! It's time now for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades, where you submit evidence of the upgrades that you've made to your bikes or equipment or just cycling life for the chance to win the ultimate prize, a GCN cap or casquette if you're French.
Cycling life, I love that. That's brilliant. Right, okay, let's roll
Just
then.
expanding it.
Yeah, I love that. Right, a couple of weeks ago, we had Dobler against Robert, and winning with 60% of the votes with that Cinelli upgrade with, I think, the widest bars in the world we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Dobler.
It was cool though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It looked
Very
like
nice upgrade.
It's like the monster truck of bicycles or something like that.
I digged it.
Yeah, digged it. Right, okay, anyway, Dobler, get in touch with us, mate, on Facebook to arrange delivery of that GCN cap.
Yes. Who have we got this week?
Well, right then, this week, mate, first up is Paul O'Brien. In 2019, Paul's dad retired, so Paul thought it was the perfect time to carry out a project as a retirement present for him. He used to ride this bike to work in the 90s in Dublin.
Do you know why Dublin's so big?
No.
Because it keeps on Dublin and Dublin.
I knew there was going to be... Right, this is Opie level jokes. Right, Opie loves puns. Right, okay. Anyway, Paul smuggled the bike back to London and went about stripping it down and giving everything a deep clean. He found some nice replacement gold decals online and had the frame powder coated at Armatex. He then purchased some gold cable housings at Brick Lane Bikes and a Brook saddle at the local bike shop, who helped Paul put it back together. Paul managed to surprise his dad with it just before Christmas, and he loves it. There it is before.
Look at that paint job. That's mega.
Those gold decals
I think that's...
look amazing.
I like the blue. Blue and gold's always a good combo, isn't it?
Yeah, that bike's
Brook
beautiful.
saddle,
Yeah.
very nice.
Gum levers.
Yeah, they match the saddle well, which is nice. Good
and the sidewalls.
coordination.
Michelin tyres.
Gold chain.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I just like that. Carlton Criterium. My dad had a Carlton as a
Classy,
kid.
isn't it, that?
Absolutely brilliant bike. There's his dad.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Loving
Happy as Larry. Don't know if that's his name. But yeah.
Like a pig in a really happy place.
Yeah. Oh, look, head on. Bang, centre pull, Mafak or Wyman brakes, don't know.
That's good, that. Nice VW Beetle in the background.
You've seen
as
any
well.
of that model? That's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Of
cool.
the remakes.
Yeah.
Nice one, Paul.
Yes.
Right. Dad looks very happy.
He does.
Happy retirement.
Good.
Right, okay.
Right, well, it's not going to be plain sailing
Never is.
for Paul. He's facing Mr. 746977, if that's your real name.
Sounds like a spy.
He also lives in an unknown location.
Definitely a spy.
Anyway.
What with the new Bond film being released very shortly as well?
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Anyhow, Mr. 746977.
That's just what they submit to us.
Is the owner from. He's the owner of this Bridgestone MB2 frame and fork, which he got from Craigslist in great condition, if that is to be believed.
Yeah. Who knows?
Sounds like a dubious character to me, John.
Yeah, Mr. 746977.
Yes, the owner wanted to have it, with great affordable components that still captured the look and feel of the original configuration. So he used eBay to get loads of amazing components, apparently. Ultegra derailleurs, 105 levers, Velo orange bars, TRP mini V brakes, nice custom built wheels onto Ultegra hubs.
Nice.
Cone bearings on those. And Sun Rhino light rims. Apparently, it rides beautifully.
They've even sent a video in as well of the cranks spinning away. Right there, that's a good nick, isn't it?
That's he did do well on Craigslist.
So obviously so Mr. 746977, let's just go up. It's got to be in America, isn't it, those vehicles?
I'd say that's in America.
What's that? Is that an RX-8, that car?
What, with a rotary engine?
Yeah,
It appears,
with those doors that open
it
funny in
appears
the
so.
back.
Also, is that a big Ford pickup truck thing,
one of-
SUV
yeah.
thing? Also, that cladding, that wooden
that
cladding on the
reminds me of
side
the
of the
States.
house, that's typical of North America.
Yeah, we're tracking you down.
I'm going to say eastern side of America,
Right.
as well.
Well, who knows? Right, if they win, then we'll get their address, won't we? Get involved in the app.
Yes.
You know who to vote for.
You know who to vote for. We're going to unmask Mr.
Mr. 746977.
We're going to unmask you.
Yeah, you can't fool us.
I think we know
tried.
who's going to win this week.
Yeah. Right, look at that. Look at the pogo stick in the background.
Yes.
Scott Tribars.
Also own a pogo
As
stick.
used by Greg LeMond in the... no, I think actually he used the Mavic ones.
Also, Keen
In
Modeler.
89.
Keen Modeler, there's a few empty sprees there
yeah,
where he's
so there are.
removed. He's also got a book on the side, Cycling for Dummies.
Yeah.
I can see that there.
And a cast iron radiator.
Yes. He's stolen that from a hospital.
If only we had a plug, then we could, an actual plug socket. We could then probably identify where he's from. Exactly where he's from. Yeah. Park tools work stand. Anyway, but yeah, there it is in its state, and there's also a video of the crank being spun too, and another picture of
Well,
I mean, who's it going to be, Mr. 746977 or
Let's
Paul
unmask
O'Brien?
him. You know who to vote for.
Yeah, use that link down below in the description.
Sorry, Paul and your dad.
Well, we can only hope that we unmask this unscrupulous character, Ollie, battling crime.
It's time now for the Bike Vault, where you submit pictures of your bikes, and myself and John rate them either nice or super nice. And if they're super nice, then the bell gets rung and they go into the Bike Vault. Right, without further ado, it's time for the first entry, which this week comes from Robert Thornhill. There he is with his giant TCR. What do you think of that, John?
Busy.
Yes.
It's a busy looking bike, that, isn't it? It's very accessorised.
He's got some Garmin Vector power meter pedals I spotted there. But,
Busy.
I don't understand why he's got the cadence sensor when the pedals automatically work out cadence.
I also don't understand the bottle cage on the rear of the saddle for a very, very large water bottle, but there isn't one on the down tube of the bike, but there is one on the seat tube. Possibly The rivets have become worn. No.
He does. I mean, I do like that you've got a GCN sticker, a GCN water bottle, and you've matched that with the red on the tyres and the red of your bar tape. That's nice colour coordination, but I have to agree, it does look quite busy.
One of the coolest stickers on that bike, other than, of course, the GCN one, which goes without saying, is the Michelin Bibendum one there, just on the down tube to head tube joint. Can you see that?
Yeah.
One of my favourite stickers, or even characters. Fictional. Yeah. There's a book all about him.
Nice. Also, you've got a little Topeak CO2 thing on the little CO2 canister on his down tube. That's quite neat and functional. But I agree, it's a little bit too busy.
Oh, but I'm baffled. Why have you...
The barbed wire fence, I fear it's going to scratch the bike.
Yeah, and that close as well to the animals in the back, they've run off.
Yeah, I think it's a nice.
I think it's a nice too.
Nice.
Yeah, Robert, nice. Okay. Next up is Pat Pal with a Villiers 101. It's the Balan World Championship Edition one.
Lamprey, Team Lamprey.
Yes, Campagnolo Super Record 80th anniversary.
Bora Ultras.
Yeah, some of the shallower ones, was that 35 mils, aren't
I
they?
love that spoke lacing on the rear wheel.
The 3G pattern.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Not just a phone signal. Supercaz bar tape.
I like how he's matched the bar tape, the gold on the gold on the bike as well. That's really cool.
Yeah, you can't often carry off like gold bar tape on a bike, can you?
Not many bikes have gold on them.
No, this one does. A slight problem. Small.
Yes.
Small. That's kind of
gold chain though.
Yeah. I mean, could Pat Powell be forgiven?
I mean, he's done everything else right.
Yeah.
He's done everything else right. And it's nice, clear background against his garage door.
Yeah. Looks to be electronically operated as well. It doesn't look to be a handle anywhere.
Yes.
That's probably central.
Do you know what? I think that's a super nice, that one.
I think it is too. Yeah.
Just
right.
We're letting you off this time. Next time, make sure it's in the big ring.
Yes. Nice one, Pat Powell. Beautiful looking wheels, aren't they, those?
Yes.
Right.
Next up, we've got Piet 82.
Ooh, look at this.
I wonder if it's Piet Mondrian.
Pete.
Yeah.
So you say it.
Anyway, he's got his Concorde.
And I'm pretty sure it's not Pete Mondrian.
He's got his Concorde Shimano Tour Ace with Shimano 600 tricolor STIs.
Nice.
And Campagnolo Shimano wheels, one of our favourites.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm a little bit sort of put off here. I'm distracted by the fact that he's taken off his shoes and sunglasses to take the photo.
That's really weird. Why'd you take your shoes off?
Yeah.
Actually, why aren't you wearing any trousers, Ollie? That's one of those Miche Super type seat posts as well. But why has Pete taken their shoes off?
Yes.
Big person as well, isn't it, Pete?
His
cranks aren't lined up.
But he's done that so that he can get it agast the step, hasn't he? Because the pedal's resting on the step.
Which is good use of step. That used to be a dual race rear mech, actually, not a 600. I mean,
what are you saying for that one?
It looks to be in good condition still, but the rear light could have... I mean, if you've taken off your shoes and your glasses, you could have taken off the rear light.
You could have done. I think that's a nice...
Yeah, it's a nice bike.
Nice.
Okay, next up is Phildistin? Don't know.
Yeah.
Christmas Day tied before lunch as the weather was stunning to take a blast along the seafront. Anyway, this is the Giant Defy Advanced. So that's either, where's that going to be? Southampton, Portsmouth, Lymington, or the Isle of Wight.
On the White Link ferry service.
Powered by hybrid energy these days, actually, Ollie.
Yeah.
My friend Ben Drudge used to work on the White Link ferry. Yeah, true story. Drudgy.
Great story, bro.
Yeah, he loves it. Right, okay, Giant Defy Advanced. Again, busy looking.
I like his visions. They're like mine, those Trimax 40s. I've got a pair of those on one of mine.
Saddle dangerously pointing down.
I don't know. I think
yes, acceptable.
That's legit.
Yeah.
That's within UCR rules.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
100%.
Okay.
I like that. I think he's got biggie smalls. He's lined up his tyres. He's lined up the valves.
No bottles. That's
he's
acceptable.
De-accessorised it, as many have failed to do this week.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just about got 3 o'clock position. It's not quite, but, he's tried.
Yeah.
The effort's been put there. No excess steering. He's ticking the box. I think that's a super nice.
Yeah, and the silver bar tape actually actually works all right because the silver bit on the head tube.
I think that's a good one.
The only thing that's letting you down is that ferry, the rusty centre line through it.
He could have waited for that to move. Probably would have had a nice back.
But you know, he's trying to get us to talk about the boat and all that.
You reckon?
Yeah. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not this week. Super nice. Skin of your teeth. Right.
Right. And finally, this week we have got Josh Ting.
Yep.
Near the sea with his Campagnolo C50.
Near the sea. So it's kind of narrowed it down a little bit where it could be from.
Where, I mean, again, that looks... I think that's America. But anyway, it's a size 55, that, 2005 bike. Campy Super Record, 11 speed, so he's put some more modern bits on it. And assorted Campy and Fulcrum bits. Massive 3T stem on there.
Dead flat as well.
Very
looks
pro
cool,
looking.
doesn't it? Those C50s with the B stays look so nice.
Yes. Very.
And again, that 3G spoke pattern.
Yes.
Or was it G3? I think it might be G3, actually. I've got a pair.
I have to say, I've got a lot of time for that classic Campagnolo C50 carbon lugged frame.
I totally agree.
Very nice bike.
Gum side. I mean, there are blazingly obvious problems here. Of course, the cranks. I mean, that's partly due to the plastic bollard in the background.
Yes.
Also, the valves, though, they're not lined up.
No, it just the whole bike looks precarious. It looks like it is going to fall off the curb.
The photo's not that sharp.
No.
Is it?
No. It's a bizarre choice of location for a photo. He looks like he's put a bit of effort into taking the photo, but at the same time he's picked a horrendous background.
Of trucks in a lay-by.
It's a bunch of like lorries.
Yeah. I think it's a nice. I think it's a nice. I would love to give it a super nice because I really like that.
The kind of one water bottle thing going on, and that one water bottle looks like it's about to fall out.
Yeah, but if that bike was rotated with its rear wheel in a clockwise direction and put against the Armco barrier, I think it would be a super nice.
I think the Armco would have been a superior choice of photographic location. I think it's a nice for me.
Yeah, nice bike. Right, you know the drill by now, and if you don't, get involved, get the GCN app, and you can upload pictures of your pride and joy. And well, we, being the photography masters that we are, Jedi master, in fact, Ollie is, we rate them nice or super nice, so get involved. You know it makes sense. I just wish they'd move that bike round.
Yeah.
There we go, mate. Another tech show in the bag. Another one done and dusted.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. You know the drill, all helps the channel. What are you doing now?
Well, mate, I'm going to go down under. Off to the tour, down under. See you later.
Okay. Anyway, if you'd like to watch another video, just like click here. See you next time.